Of all the drivers putting their pedals to the metal, truckers might just have it the hardest. Every year, nearly 14 million trucks crisscross the United States.
My gosh!
Hauling 11 billion tons of cargo. And covering 1.4 trillion miles of rough and tumble roads. Truckers can spend up to 240 nights away from family and constantly contend with crotchety drivers. And drivers like you and me get to rub shoulders with them as they wind,
Pull over. Oh my gosh!
swerve, and spill their way towards their destinations, racking up a ton of moving violations. No cows were harmed in the making of this program. Well-trained truckers need to be able to handle a tight squeeze.
Holy!
But sometimes they turn 200,000 lemons into lemonade. Talk about a sour commute. The highways are full of unexpected obstacles. And for a keg on 18 wheels just trying to deliver some beer, a motorcycle flying your way during a hairpin turn is one hell of a party foul. Ooh, that hurts to watch, but let's see it again. Tractor trailers need about 55 feet to make a turn. And when a moving hazard cuts that radius in half, we end up with enough spilled beer to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. I think I'll pass on the gravel-aged IPA. If you thought moving obstacles were a wet blanket, you better buckle up for what can happen when the danger's standing still. In Ackworth, Georgia, a sitting duck truck has found itself in the clutches of a stationary predator, a 100-year-old railroad crossing. Why did the truck driver try to cross the road? Doesn't matter, because he's bottomed out and can't get his cargo over the train tracks.
He's so screwed.
That's putting it mildly. But luckily for the driver,
The guy got out, though.
he saw it coming. Around the 1960s, trucks got longer and heavier, making it harder to clear the incline of a railroad crossing without enough momentum. But trains also got heavier. It takes a 20,000-ton freight train over a mile to fully brake. Unless you put a 10-ton truck in its way. That'll slow it down much faster. Railroad crossings are some of the most dangerous hazards a truck driver faces. But they're not at the top of the list. Low-clearance buzz cuts are some of the most common tractor-trailer accidents in the world. In the biz, they call it the can opener. That's more than just a trim off the top. The Gregson Street Bridge in Durham, North Carolina has risen to the rank of clipper-in-chief. It was built in the 1940s and has racked up quite a body count since.
Oh shit!
In the mid-1900s, vehicles were much smaller and bridges were built much lower. But today, with taller and larger freight trucks, older bridges are problematic. In 2019, the Durham Transit Authority raised the bridge 8 inches, added a big yellow bar and a giant flashing sign, alerting drivers to the height. But some drivers just aren't good with details. Since 2008, there have been at least 175 bouts with the bridge. And even though some trucks might scrape by, the bridge mostly comes out on top. And while mayhem in motion grabs the big headlines, sometimes it's the way drivers park that leaves us scratching our heads.
I don't even know what happened.
cars spend about 90% of their lives parked. But some drivers clearly can't be trusted to park responsibly. Come on, bro. You know that was my spot. And when motorists won't go quietly, parking enforcement shows up with their secret weapon, the tire boot.
Oh, I just popped his tire.
Now, that's what I call perseverance. In Houston, Texas, a crowd is getting revved up for auditions for a reality show featuring self-proclaimed bad girls. But it looks like one aspiring C-lister is getting the boot. And she doesn't seem too happy to get voted off the island. These devices are made to be put on and stay on.
Stop, please stop. You can't look up.
Trying to get them off can tear off the wheel well and puncture the tire, leaving the car in pretty bad shape. Let's take another look at her audition tape. She's got the persistence and that it factor. But can she stay in character?
Please stop.
Individuals will respond to embarrassment in similar ways that they respond to any stressful situation. For instance, if their personality is maybe more gregarious or extroverted, they are probably going to be more likely to choose to fight.
Her competition is watching, and it's go big or go home. Or in this case, go big to go home. And with her slap in the face of law enforcement, she's got this audition locked up. Just can't keep a bad girl down, can ya? While we're on the wrong side of the law, this woman in Lufkin, Texas just got busted for trying to get away with shoplifting. But Harriet Houdini's big act is just beginning. She slips the cuffs without even breaking a sweat. Oh, and here's the contortion part of the show. She's squirming her way through that partition and into the driver's seat.
God dang. Hey.
Her next trick? A disappearing act.
Yeah.
With a freshly stolen police cruiser. She's really making a break for it here, hitting speeds of at least 100 miles an hour as she barrels down residential roads. And if 3.5 tons of screeching steel wasn't dangerous enough, police cruisers come standard with a shotgun inside, and the cops have to stop her before she turns this chase into a shootout. Looks like she's taking her show off the road. And when she reappears on the road, the cops launch spike strips to pop her tires. But she escapes untouched, so now it's time for the cops to bring out their own special trick. A show-stopping shove from behind.
An individual in the midst of being caught for a crime and still deciding to attempt to get out of that is usually only thinking about the consequences. In other words, jail is not for me. I said I would never go back. Or what are people going to say at work if I get arrested?
The act of fleeing, whether it be in a car, whether it be running, can put the entire community in danger. Because remember, that person is motivated to get away.
God dang.
We have to think of what the alleged criminal may have on their mind. They second, third strike, a time in which they may be thinking that I'm going to go to prison for a long period of time.
Any fights?
Yeah, sure do.
We got.
Nope.
Desperate criminals will take advantage of any opportunity to escape. And if you can get out of handcuffs, squeezing through a 12-inch partition is no sweat. But she did have the cops sweating. Spike strips are a cop's last resort. They can stop a runaway driver, but at a cost. In the past decade, hundreds of cops have been struck by erratic drivers while deploying them. But if they don't hit their mark, a good old-fashioned nudge from a cruiser will do the trick. Looks like that tailspin has knocked her unconscious. But the cops know what to do to wake her up.
There's a window punch! Window punch! Cover, cover!
When the tables turned and the dust finally settled, the law pulled up a long list of charges out of its hat. Evading arrest, escaping custody, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, evading arrest with a vehicle, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, adding up to a grand finale of 45 years in jail. On the bright side, she's gonna have plenty of time to work on her magic tricks.